Hello, hello. Is this working? I'm so confused. I tried to start the live stream just now. I don't know if this is working. Uh, what? Oh, that's not great. Okay, okay. Looks like it is. Sorry for the delay. Yeah, it is working, right? Okay, it is working. Huh. Strange. I really thought I scheduled this yesterday, but I guess not. But yeah, I'm glad it's. You would think after like doing this 30 times, I would know how it works. But apparently not. And to be honest, it's still super confusing to me. I don't know. I think YouTube's doing a lot of things right, but this streaming thing is a bit confusing. Yeah. But anyway, we're down to our second, two last sessions. So 20 more poems to go. So quite exciting. Today's poems are actually super annoying because this guy, Li Shangyin, he never titles his poems. So all these just says like untitled, right? And there's like he has so many untitled poems. So it was so hard for me to find like what were the specific poems he was writing. Like like I was searching for these two poems, the Wikipedia page for like half an hour because this is like untitled one, untitled two, and the page is actually four untitled poems. It's like, how could I have known there were four of them? Yeah, but let's see if the poems are actually good. And yeah, I think we'll be I don't know if anyone's gonna come because of this technical difficulties, but let's see, let's see. It's a shame, really, yeah. But okay, let's get going. So by Liu Yuxi, this 西塞山怀古，王浚楼船下益州，金陵王气黯然收。千寻铁锁沉江底，一片降帆出石头。人世几回伤往事，山行依旧枕寒流。从今四海为家日，故蝶萧萧如笛笛。Since Wang Jun brought his towering ships down from Yizhou, the royal ghost has pined in the city of Nanjing. 10,000 feet of iron chain were sunk here to the bottom, and then came the flag of surrender on the wall of stone. Cycles of change have moved into the past, while still this mountain dignity has commanded the cold river. And now comes the day of the Chinese world united, and the old forts fill with ruin and with autumn reeds. Okay, what's going on? Okay, so it's about a historical event where the Western Jin conquered the Wu. Okay, so two states and one conquered the other and uniting China. Okay. So this is because he is passing this mountain, which was very important in that conquest, right? And this is a reflection of the division within his own state because of the rebellion, right? Let's go through it again. Since Wang Jun, so this is was a governor in that area. Okay. And he brought his towering ships down from Yizhou. So he was from Yizhou, right? He was governing Yizhou. And so the emperor of Jin was trying to conquer Wu. And so he asked this guy to build boats, and just each boat can have like up to 2,000, over 2,000 people. That's pretty crazy. So he was following orders and brought his ships down from Izhou. Okay. And what's the deal with this next line? So the royal ghost has pined in the city of Nanjing. I think just the royal ghost meaning imperial aura. I guess that's the vibe. Yeah. So it's not like a actual ghost here. Uh-huh. So then yeah, and Nanjing is actually the capital of Wu, so that's what was being taken over, right? So the royal ghost, I guess, is a sign of like, I don't know, the unity. Like whoever takes this will be Emperor of China, maybe. Okay, then 10,000 feet of iron chain were sunk here to the bottom. So the iron chains were used to obstruct the ships. They were strung over the river to obstruct the ships from Jin. So it didn't work. Uh-huh. And then came the flag of surrender on the wall of stone. So the stone is just I guess it's just called Stone City. Interesting. That's where the Wu capital is. So yeah, this is just depicting the historical events of the Jin, Western Jin, conquering the city of Nanjing, which was the capital of Wu, and so therefore conquering Wu and uniting China. That's pretty crazy. This sounds like an awesome battle. It's like huge ships and like iron chains. I can't believe this happened so long ago. That's so cool. Okay, and cycles of change have moved into the past, while still this mountain dignity has commanded the cold river. So cold dignity. So he's standing upon the river, right? Upon a river. I think it's the Yellow River. So mountain dignity is the Westford Mountain. Yeah. Then, and now comes the day of the Chinese world united, and the old forts fill with ruin and with autumn reeds. Not sure if this last one seems. I think the last line is very interesting because if this was in peaceful times, then maybe it would make sense. You would say like, well, we're so successful, we don't even need the fort anymore, so we can leave it, let it fall into ruin and disrepair. But if his own time was kind of like troubled, then that seems like it could also be saying it's because we didn't care about this fort or this sort of matters, right? That's why we are in this current state. So that's very interesting, this final line. Yeah. Okay, but overall, I do like the historical part because the battle seems really cool. Just super badass. I mean, I know it's a war. You shouldn't glorify war, but I'm just really surprised they had like so much cool technology back then with like these huge ships and like so much iron chain. That seemed like a very, yeah, just I don't think Chinese history they emphasize the wars a lot, but as opposed to Western history. But it seems like the war here was actually really interesting. Yeah. And then next, um, just the second half, it's about the passage of time and how some things change, but some things have not, right? But here, it seems like the mountain is still here. The fort is not. But I think what does remain is that, they say like in Chinese history, it's like the empire divided must unite and united must divide. So it's always that cycle of like coming together and then dissipating, coming together, dissipating. And I think here, it's sort of calling attention to that flow of history, and does feel like it's gonna divide soon if there's the Hope Rebellion going on. Yeah, so quite interesting. Okay, so then let's move. I forgot the famous critics. Let's see. This is saying, because it's been so long, such a long period of peace, the sort of the ambition towards like conquest has been like has eroded away. Yeah, so I think this is kind of ominous considering the troubles that the rebellion will bring up. Yeah. So then next we have these three poems by Ren Zhen. So an elegy 1, 2, and 3. So I think we can go through. I don't know. Are there a lot of historical references? Well, let's see. Let's read the first one and see what's the best way to approach it. So first, an elegy 1. This is 以浅悲怀之一，谢公最小偏邻女，自驾前楼百事乖，故我无一搜尽妾，泥他乌九拔金钗，野书冲扇肝肠货，落叶天心养骨怀。今日棚前过10万，与君营殿复营斋。O youngest, best-loved daughter of Xie, who unluckily married this penniless scholar, you patched my clothes from your own wicker basket, and I coaxed off your hairpins of gold to buy wine with. For dinner, we had to pick wild herbs, and to use dry locust leaves for our kindling. Today, they are paying me 100,000, and all that I can bring to you is a temple sacrifice. Wow, I mean, okay, I guess it's an elegy and it's a sad poem. But oh no, the second poem, actually his wife dies. Damn, okay. Oh, that's what he means. It's like today they're paying me 100,000 and all that I can bring you is a temple sacrifice. It's because she's already dead. Oh no. Oh no, that's really sad. Now, let me just look through here. So the Xie, best loved daughter of Xie, actually the she's actually the nephew. Sorry, the niece of the prime minister. Oh, that's crazy. Right? Oh no. This is not. That's actually her name, right? Right? Wait, what's his wife's name? Wei Cong. Okay, his wife is Wei Cong, so he's not. Okay. So she's not actually the daughter of Xie, because her surname is Wei, right? But her dad is also quite a high-ranking person. Yeah, it's like I don't know, it's like a marquis or a duke or something. It's a qing, it's a pretty high ranking guy, right? And then so then next one, so who unluckily married. So what's actually written here is this Qian Lou. So Qian Lou is actually a historical reference to a is it Warring States character? So pretty long ago. And then apparently he is poor, but he is a good person, has very high morals. So yeah, from this he's using it to describe himself, just like he also emphasizing how he's poor, I guess. Yeah. And the rest seems kind of straightforward, but let's see. So you patch my clothes from your own wicker basket, and I coaxed off your hairpins of gold to buy wine with. For dinner, we had to pick wild herbs, and to use dry locust leaves for our kindling. Today they are paying me 100,000, and all that I can bring you is a temple sacrifice. Oh, that's so sad. It's like she cared a lot about him, and then she's putting in all this effort. Or she really supported him when he had nothing, and now when he's finally successful, he's unable to like share it with her because she's already passed away. Oh, that's so sad. Wow. Are there any famous critics for this? I guess it's all in general. So why don't we go through all three and then look at the famous critics together? Okay, so the second one, an elegy 2. This is 浅悲怀之二。昔日戏言身后事，今朝都到眼前来。衣上已湿行看尽，针线犹存未忍开。上想旧情连婢仆，也曾因梦送钱财。重知此恨人人有，贫贱夫妻百事哀。We joked long ago about one of us dying, but suddenly before my eyes you are gone. Almost all your clothes have been given away. Your needlework is sealed. I dare not look at it. I continue your bounty to our men and our maids. Sometimes in a dream, I bring you gifts. This is a sorrow that all mankind must know, but not as those know it who have been poor together. Wow. Wow, that's so sad. Yeah. I mean, I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I need to add anything. Isn't it kind of straightforward? Yeah. I guess one observation I do have is just when he says he's continuing the bounty to our men and our maids. I guess just how much she paid them, he continues to pay, right? In line 5. Not really, but let me check what the other just how much it says how much she cares for them. So the bounty here is like her care. I thought it was like her just like how much she pays them. Yeah. So this I thought was interesting because it's just like in Confucianism sometimes there's this oh, someone's here, so hello. I was kind of worried if anyone would come because this was kind of because of technical issues, but I'm glad at least someone is here. Yeah. So again, back to this line, right? When he said like he sort of continues like the way she treats their servants, he also treats them, right? I think this reminds me of like like in Confucianism, you're supposed to, like when your like dad passes away, you're supposed to like continue with like his practices for like 3 years. And then but the point is not like it's not like just a random rule. The point is that like if you love them so much, then like you cannot bear to change it, right? And I suspect this is sort of the same sentiment being expressed here, which is just that like he loves his wife so much, so he can't bear to see anything. I mean, he can't bear to see the actual things of her, but the things she does, he also tries to continue it on. Like the way she treats the their men and their maids, he still tries to keep that as a tradition. So I think yeah, it's pretty, I mean it's very obvious he loves his wife, right? Yeah. And then next, sometimes in a dream, I bring you gifts. So this is quite funny because here is literally like I send you money because of the dream. So it's just because in Chinese culture you can send them like you can burn like paper money, right? To your loved ones in the afterlife. So that's just the idea lah. Yeah. And then I just really like this last two lines. This is a sorrow that all mankind must know, but not as those know it who have been poor together. It's like, wow, they really been through a lot. Yeah. Oh, so sad. I wish his wife could have lived longer and they could have, you know, enjoyed their time together. Yeah. Wow. Okay, let's move on to this next one. So this is the third last of the three about his wife. So here, an elegy 3, 浅悲怀之三，闲坐悲君亦自悲，百年都是几多时。邓忧五子寻之命，潘岳道王犹废辞，铜雀杳冥，何之所望？他生缘会更难期，唯将终夜长开眼，报答平生未展眉。I sit here alone, mourning for us both. How many years do I lack now of my 70. There have been better men than I, to whom heaven denied a son. There was a poet better than I, whose dead wife could not hear him. What have I to hope for in the darkness of our tomb? You and I had little faith in a meeting after death. Yet my open eyes can see all night that lifelong trouble of your brow. Wow. So I guess now he's 70, right? But I mean, this is just like, it's just like 100 years. It's just I mean, he's not 100, right? He's just saying it's a long time. Yeah. So I'm kind of curious what is the specific reference to the poet who doesn't have a son. Sorry, his dead wife. I think there's Pan Yue, and then there's this Deng Yu, right? So Deng Yu, yeah, I mean, he's just some guy who doesn't have a son. Okay. And this other guy, Pan Yue, oh, he's just someone whose wife passed away. So I don't think we need to dig into the details. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like these people, maybe they have like it's like an inside joke between him and his wife. But to us, I don't know. They're not super famous. I don't think it's worth digging into. Yeah. So then next, what have I to hope for in the darkness of our tomb? You and I had little faith in a meeting after death. Wow. Yet my open eyes can see all night the lifelong trouble of your brow. Wow. I don't think what can I say? There's nothing for me to say. It's just, wow. Wow, poor guy, poor guy. So, I mean, here mourning. I mean, yeah, I mean, it's just feeling sad or grieving, right? Grieving for himself and his wife. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, just let's see when more context about their relationship. Oh no, his wife died when she was only 27. Oh, that's my age. Damn. So they were married when she was 20 and he was 25. Yeah. Apparently she was, she was just really cool. She's really cool. She's really like, she just never complained, even though they had no money, right? But yeah. Oh, and whoa, it was right when he actually got like his first job, his first official job, and then she passed away from illness at 27. And he just, for the rest of his life, he just wrote like poems missing her. Oh, that's so sad. Oh, wow. Damn, poor guy. Okay, let's look at some of the famous critics. Uh, mm, okay, I don't think any of this. I mean, it's all in the poems. I don't think there's anything to add. So let's move on. Yeah, I really like these. Yeah, very earnest. This, yeah, when I saw this is super weird because if you see the title, it's like it really is as long as the poem. Really strange, but okay. So this is by Zhi. To my brothers and sisters adrift in troubled times, this poem of the moon. So, I mean, clearly it was not a complete translation. So let me read it, and I'll try to translate the full translation. 自河南经乱，关内阻击，兄弟离散，各在一处。因望月有感，聊书所怀。即上服两大兄，于浅七兄，乌江15兄，监视扶离及下邦弟妹。So I think this is actually probably a preface rather than a title in itself. Because usually, yeah, it's just, I don't think, as in there are prefaces, and I just don't think he would be so weird as to write such a long title. But what this means is that ever since there's a war in the Henan area, and then there's a travel restrictions and famine, us siblings have now been separated, and we are scattered across various places. Because I was looking at the moon, and I was very touched, and so I wrote this poem to record my feelings, sending it to my eldest brother at Fuliang, my 7th brother at Yuqian, my 15th brother at Wujiang, and my younger siblings at Fuli and Xia. Was it Xiabang? Xiagui. Okay. So he has a lot of siblings. I want to see how many siblings he has. Oh, I guess it doesn't say, but he has brother number 15. That's like, what? That's insane. If there's 15 boys, how many girls are there? That's crazy. Okay, or maybe it's like 15. But usually it's like 15th brother, the girls have a different numbering system, right? So it's like if you have like 5 brothers and like 1 sister, it'd be like fifth brother and first sister, right? It's not like, so he has to have 15 brothers at least. There's no way, right? I know this is a tangent, but like, there's no way, right? Like how many times can a person give birth? You said in ancient times, the more the merrier, people die easily, right? I mean, that makes sense, but like, I mean, it takes like 10 months to give birth, right? So like, even if his mom was giving birth like continuously, okay, let's just, if they don't have a number, I'll just move back to the poem. I think I just got distracted. Yeah. Okay. Screw it. All right, let's just go back to the important part. So here, 时难年荒事业空，义兄羁旅各西东。田园寥落干戈后，骨肉流离道路中。药引分为千里雁，词根散作九秋蓬。共看明月应垂泪，一夜相心无处同。My heritage lost through disorder and famine. My brothers and sisters flung eastward and westward. My fields and gardens wrecked by the war. My own flesh and blood become scum of the street. I moan to my shadow like a lone wandering wild goose. I am torn from my root like a water plant in autumn. I gaze at the moon, and my tears run down, for hearts in 5 places, all sick with one wish. Wow. I think the 5 places is just because he has, yeah, actually why 5 places in particular? Okay, because you recall in the title, he actually names 5 places, right? So, let's see. So he is in, okay, so his brother is in, one is in Fuliang, one is in Yuqian, one is in Wujiang, one is in, Fuli, and lastly in Xiabang, so Xiagui, I think. So there's really these 5 places, and that's why his heart is divided amongst there. Okay. At least he knows roughly where they are. That's pretty good, right? Oh. Yeah, but it's really sad. War really is terrible. Yeah. So my heritage lost through disorder and famine. My brothers and sisters flung eastward and westward. My fields and gardens wrecked by the war. My own flesh and blood become scum of the street. I moan to my shadow like a lone wandering wild goose. All right, so because geese always travel in packs, right? So that's okay. That's a pretty common image, yeah. I am torn from my root like a water plant in autumn. That's pretty. I mean, being uprooted is a English metaphor as well, but I think it's pretty cool. I quite like this. Like it's pretty. Somehow it makes it feel more concrete for me again. Yeah. And then I gaze at the moon, and my tears run down. So you recall from the title that he was inspired to write this because he's looking at the moon, right? I mean, I think I mentioned this before, but I think the idea is that like because everyone's looking at the same moon, so it all kind of connects people. Yeah. But he gazes at the moon, and his tears run down, for hearts in 5 places, all sick with one wish. So yeah, they just want to be reunited. That's tough. That's really tough. And then maybe look at the famous critics. So there's nothing much to add, actually. Yeah. I know I keep saying that today, like there's nothing much to add, but it's I mean, it's not like yesterday's poems, right? Then there are like just like a ton of references. But I think these are all pretty obvious. Like here is just their, I guess maybe I didn't mention. I mean, this is probably just I didn't look at the context. Sorry. So here, he is in Fuli. So that's one of the 5 places. And then the others are scattered all around, right? And yeah, these are just within it's just a local rebellion. I think it's after the Anlushan one. I'm not sure, but there is a rebellion. Yeah. And yeah. So the war is in Henan, which he also mentions, right? And yeah, it's because there's a blockage on the river due to the rebellion, and which causes the I think it's also mentioned that the pass is blocked. And so yeah. But apparently this also on this year, right, he actually got a good he did well in the imperial exams. So he got this 进士 title. So actually he was doing pretty well, but immediately after that, then everything sort of went downhill. So it's wow, that's a difficult year for him. Wow. Okay, maybe let's move on to this next one then. It's the Shangyin. So do we have I think 5 poems by him today. So the rest of the 5. So here the inlaid harp is 景色，景色无端50弦，一弦一竹思华年。庄生晓梦，迷蝴蝶。望帝春心，托杜鹃。沧海月明，珠有泪。蓝田日暖，日生烟。此情可待成追忆，只是当时已惘然。I wonder why my inlaid harp has 50 strings, each with its flower-like fret and interval of youth. The sage Zhuangzi is daydreaming, bewitched by butterflies. The spring heart of Emperor Wang is crying in a cuckoo. Mermen weep their pearly tears down a moon-green sea. Blue fields are breathing their jade to the sun. And a moment that ought to have lasted forever has come and gone before I knew. Wow. What's going on? Okay, so this is when he's written later in his life. So there's actually quite a lot of, it's not really decided, or it's not unanimous why he's like saying that this moment that ought to have lasted forever has come and gone before he knew. So it could be like when his wife died, or it could be just about his country perishing or not doing so well, right? Or his own career ambitions not doing so well. So there's a lot of interpretations of the context. But yeah, let's look at the specific references then. So I wonder why my inlaid harp has 50 strings, each with its flower-like fret and interval of youth. Apparently there's only 25 strings for this kind of harp, but apparently in the past, I think there's more. I think that's what it's saying here. Yeah. Okay, and then this one. So line 3, the sage Zhuangzi is daydreaming, bewitched by butterflies. So this is a very famous story, right? So just on Zhuangzi, he's really good. You ought to read him, but it's very hard to understand. Anyway, so he says, so Zhuangzi has this famous story where he had a dream where he was like there's this butterfly like chilling, right? And then he woke up and then he realized he was Zhuangzi, right? But then he had this thought. It's like, so am I Zhuangzi who was dreaming that he was a butterfly, or am I actually the butterfly dreaming that he is Zhuangzi? And that's like kind of the point is that like, you can never really know. Yeah. So, but here I think it's being used to say that life is like a dreamer. Yeah. Which is because later on it says that, a moment that ought to have lasted forever has come and gone before I knew. So it's just almost like the unreality of reality. Yeah, reality feels a bit unreal at times. Yeah. Okay. Then next, the spring heart of Emperor Wang is crying in a cuckoo. I don't know what's that. What? Oh, this is pretty dense. I'm not sure what. I'm not sure. It's referring to this person called Du Yu. I don't know who this is. Okay. Apparently, this king in like 1057 BC, legendarily lah. Not sure if it's true. Yeah, but when he died, when he retreated into the west mountain, or western mountain, after he died, he supposedly transformed into this what's this bird called? The cuckoo? Cuckoo? Yeah. So every time when they hear when they're harvesting or they're sowing, and then they see the cuckoo, they hear the cuckoo cry, they'll be like, oh, I see. They hear it saying, oh, it's me, Wang Di. Apparently, its cry sounds like that in Chinese. Okay. Hmm. Pretty articulate bird, if you could say that. It's me, Wang Di. So it's like, ooh, Wang Di Hun Ye. I think that's the line. Yeah. So okay, I think this part was very this part was kind of useless. All I needed was no, actually this note was pretty bad. Yeah, but I guess now we know what we need to know, which is that yeah, the spring heart of Emperor Wang is crying in a cuckoo. So that makes sense, right? Yeah, so presumably he is a cuckoo, I guess. Like in those Greek myths, it's like, oh, I became a tree, I became the stars, like that kind of vibe. Yeah, I became a flower, right? So he became a bird. And then next, this was what confused me. Like, Mermen weep their pearly tears down a moon green sea. Since when do we have mermen in China? Like, I mean, I know they don't exist, but like, I don't think the stories of them even existed then, right? Oh, really? Okay, there is some equivalent. So apparently, it says outside in the further reaches, or just outside the southern sea, there are these what are called jiaoren. They live in the water like fish, and not sure what this is, but when they cry, they can uh excrete pearls. So that's the reference here. Interesting. So they weep their pearly tears down into the moon green sea. So I guess these are all just, so life is like a dream. That's line 3. And 4 and 5 are just crying, right? Just crying, crying. And then 6 is, what's 6? What's with this blue fields? But blue field is just the name of a mountain, apparently. I don't know how they breathe their jade to the sun. Oh, but apparently when the jade is heated in the day, it emits some smoke. Apparently. I guess this is saying like jade, which is supposed to last for a long time, it's also kind of like dissipating, maybe. Yeah. But I mean, it's clear that all of this stuff, it all leads up to the last 2 lines, right? And the moment that ought to have lasted forever has come and gone before I knew. Yeah. I think the middle parts kind of throw me off. I get the 庄子 dreaming one, life is like a dream. Not really sure how like tears that are pearls and like jade evaporating has anything to do with the transience of life, I guess. So it's a little puzzling to me. You think you said there's a lot of mentions related to time. You think the meaning of the poem is something about the passage of time. And it's funny how almost all cultures have some mer creature somewhere in their folklore. Interesting. Yeah, this related to time, right? It feels like everything is leading up to the end. Just not sure about these pearls. I guess pearls are supposed to last for a long time, right? Maybe. Or maybe because the harp has all these pearls. Oh, that would make sense, right? Because it's inlaid. Yeah. Huh. But why does the harp make him think of time? Is it because he's 50 and it has 50 strings, even though it only actually has 25 strings? That's so strange. There's also a theory that this is written to a girl called uh 景色. So he's just making a pun on her name and this inlaid harp. Because it does seem like the harp is kind of random. Yeah. So one of the contexts, someone says it's to a girl named 景色. Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of strange. Or maybe it's like if it's to his late wife, then it could be like, oh, it's my wife's favorite harp. Something like that. I think without the context, it's really hard to get to the meaning of this. Yeah. It's this this is no one knows what this poem means. Wow. I'm glad I'm not alone. It's weird, right? No one knows what it means, but they still added it. I guess it's just good. The language-wise is really good and evocative, but yeah, so strange. I don't know how to judge this poem if I don't even know what it means. Right? This is like, even if, when you're at the final line, how do you connect everything? So I guess most people are pretty puzzled by this. Huh. Right, again here it says, the harp has 25 strings at his time, but in the past it had 50 strings. So that's why he said 50. Okay. You said unique context. What's the usual tradition with harps in ancient culture? I don't know actually. I don't feel like I see a lot about harps. Well, actually, I think there are actually a lot of mentions of it, but I wonder. Let's just Google it here. But yeah, I think this poem. Okay, this is the harp. Okay. So so this word can also mean like just really sad. 凄凉. It's like sad, or let's see. I guess it sounds kind of sad. It's a sad instrument. So maybe that would make sense, yeah. Huh. Well, this is pretty cool. So these are 5 ways the word is written in like China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, Japan, Korea. So that's more of like, it's kind of more on brand with the usual stuff the channel does. I mean, they all look kind of the same, but just, this is like wider, and yeah, the calligraphy is slightly different, but the strokes are all the same. But yeah, just got a bit distracted there. But okay, I guess that's, if it's supposed to mean like sadness, that would make sense. Yeah, right. Just very puzzling. You see, did they use it to make love ballads or something? I don't know. Let's see. Uh, Let me Google this as well. So, okay, let's read this together. It's one of the most important string instruments, right? Okay, it's pretty popular. Instrument of elites used to play ritualistic music. So then this should be quite, so I wouldn't think it's very like love poem-y, because if it's used for ritual music. Yeah. Okay. It was very popular in the pre-Qin dynasty and the Han dynasty. Okay. Well, it is mentioned in the Guanju, which is a very famous love poem. So that could be it. Is it? I think it should be this one, right? Zithers and lutes. One of them should be the harp. I mean, just another translation. Huh. Interesting. I think there really is a lot of associations with this. It's just, it could be even like a symbol of like, I don't know, high culture. It could be love. I can see that. But yeah. I think I'll probably just move on from this, but yeah. It's pretty nice. I mean, the language is really nice, but as the comments say, like no one understood what this means. So it's worth a shot trying to interpret it, but I wouldn't spend too much longer on it. Yeah. Okay, so the next one, Li Shangyin again. This, I don't think it's quite like to one unnamed. It's just like untitled. Yeah, so 无题, like no topic, right? So then, 昨夜星辰昨夜风，画楼西半桂堂东。身无彩凤双飞翼，心有灵犀一点通。隔座送钩春酒暖，分曹射覆蜡灯红。结于听鼓应官去，走马兰台泪转蓬。The stars of last night and the wind of last night are west of the painted chamber and east of the cinnamon hall. Though I have for my body no wings like those of the bright-colored phoenix, yet I feel the harmonious heartbeat of the sacred unicorn. Across the spring wine, while it warms me, I prompt you how to bet, where group by group we are throwing dice in the light of a crimson lamp. Till the rolling of a drum, alas, calls me to my duties, and I mount my horse and ride away, like a water plant cut adrift. Okay, so this is a very famous line, but in English, I realize I don't know what it means. Let's go through this bit by bit. So apparently this was supposed to be part of a set of 2 poems as well. Yeah, but this one is like half as long as the first one. So we're looking at the first one, actually. So 8 lines of 7. The context of this is quite debated. So it could be, I mean, some kind of mutual longing, right? But okay, if the context is so debated, no need to stare too hard at it. Let's go through it line by line then. The stars of last night and the wind of last night are west of the painted chamber and east of Cinnamon Hall. So painted chamber is just a very beautiful building. And the other one, Cinnamon Hall, is just a very beautiful hall. Okay, that was not helpful. So just, they're in some house, I guess. They're somewhere. They're in a building. Okay. And though I have for my body no wings like those of the bright-colored phoenix, right? Yet I feel the harmonious heartbeat of the sacred unicorn. I think that's actually a rhino, though, right? I think the sacred unicorn is just a rhino. I think so, yeah. So yeah, it's just a rhino horn. That's weird. Right, yeah. Okay, so but apparently in the middle of the rhino horn, there is a white line going through it. So it's supposed to be a metaphor for how, I guess it's like there's a line like tying the hearts of like a couple, and through that it's like they have a like the secret connection now. Yeah. So that's why they have a harmonious heartbeat, because they are connected in some way. Yeah. Oh, that's a pretty good 2 lines. Yeah, I can see why this is famous. Kind of a stretch, but it's pretty interesting. Yeah. And next, across the spring wine while it warms me, I prompt you how to bet. where group by group we are throwing dice in the light of a crimson lamp. Okay. To the rolling of a drum, alas, calls me to my duties. And I mount my horse and ride away like a water plant cut adrift. So it says across the spring wine. Okay, so they're just like, that's like them having fun together, right? At the end, to the rolling of a drum, alas calls me to my duties, and I mount my horse and ride away. I think this is like, he has to go work in the morning because he's an official or something. And he has to ride away, water plant cut adrift, just like, again, the metaphor of being uprooted, right? Yeah. So she is like his soil, his ground, what grounds him. Yeah, that's pretty cool. I like this, very cute poem. Yeah, and then I know you have some comments here. So it seems to be an imperial guard. Is this because of the rolling of the drum and riding the horse? And next you said, rhino horn used to be an aphrodisiac in some cultures. I think that's probably quite relevant here. Maybe why that's why this is a good, he chooses to use this for a symbol of love. And you said it might be referring to mythical unicorns, but the word means rhino now. Let's see. Let me search again this C character. But it seems like they have been using rhino horns for a long time. And they have to know what the rhino horn, they have to know the rhino horn has the white line down there, right? So let's see, do they have a traditional? Okay, I think they do know it's a rhino for a long time. Or maybe the translator didn't. Or maybe he's just trying to make it more poetic, right? It's like, if you say, I feel the harmonious heartbeat of the rhino, it's like, what? So I guess it's a good literary translation. Yeah. Okay. Oh, shoot. Where's the... Okay. I think that's quite possible. Then maybe let's move on to the famous critics. And yeah, and any more comments, just feel free. I'm still reading. Yeah. So I think it's pretty cool. They do remind me that, this actually literally just happened last night. Okay. So this is really like, it happened last night, and then he's really describing what's happening now. Like he has to go. Interesting. Oh, and you said the Latin name of rhino is Rhinoceros unicornis. So in the West, it was identified with the unicorn. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't know that. Wow. People must have been really disappointed when they saw like the unicorn they had in their imagination, and like you go in with that expectation and you see a rhino. It's like, whoa. Yeah, I must have been really disappointed. Yeah. Yeah. But interesting though that as unicorns are supposed to have immortality, right? And in China, they also have, I don't know, like you said, they also use rhino horns for medicine. So I guess people attribute some significance to this. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. Famous critics. This does seem to suggest that I did think it's kind of weird that he was playing dice with the girl, and this suggests that actually it's like she's like those barmaids or something, like a singing girl, because it just doesn't seem very likely that it's kind of weird to be playing dice with your wife. if you're an ancient Chinese poet. Yeah. You say, oh, seeing the rhino as a unicorn, they must have thought it's a monster, or are they supposed to be so thick? Right? Really? Yeah. I wonder what's the deal with. Well, if we're talking about this, here's another tangent. They always like call this other thing the Chinese unicorn. I think it's called like the Qilin. So if you see like old translations, they always translate this as a unicorn, even though I don't think it has a horn at all. But because this is just like a mythical creature that, let's see, has a lamb's head, the hooves of a wolf, but wolf don't have hooves. But I guess the legs of a hoof, sorry, legs of a wolf, and about 2 meters long or tall. It's like multicolored. Another one says it has a body like a deer, tail like a dragon. Oh, it does have a horn and dragon scales. So yeah, that's yeah. Oh, it says yep, it's kirin in Japanese. Right, exactly. So sometimes if you see like old translations, when they say, oh, Confucius met a unicorn, right? This is the thing they're talking about. So yeah. I mean, this doesn't actually exist, by the way, but yeah, so just good to know. Okay, I guess then that's kind of it for this poem. Shall we move on to the next one then? Here, the palace of the Sui Emperor, Sui Gong. 紫泉宫殿锁烟霞，日取无城坐地家。日喜不仁归日角，锦帆应是到天涯。于今腐草无萤火，钟鼓垂杨有木鸦。地下若逢陈后主，起义重问后庭花。His palace of purple spring has been taken by mist and cloud, as he would have taken all Yangzhou to be his private domain. But for the seal of imperial jade being seized by the first Tang emperor, he would have bounded with his silken sails the limits of the world. Fireflies are gone now, have left the weathered grasses, but still among the weeping willows, crows perch at twilight. If he meets there, underground, the later Chen emperor, do you think they will mention a song of courtyard flowers? What? This seems very specific. Let's look at the context and the notes. Okay, so this is, okay, he's talking about this Sui Yang Di. Okay, he's just a famously bad ruler, very corrupt, didn't manage the affairs of state, but he opened up he commanded the building of like 2,000 li, 2,000 miles, I guess, Chinese miles of river, and then so that he can take the boat from Luoyang to Jiangdu for fun. So he basically built like an express train just for his joyride, right? That's sort of the equivalent, right? And then he even built another 800 li so that he can go to Hangzhou. Oh, that's messed up. And then along the river, the canal, right? Then he built like just little palaces for him to stay over at, and just wasted a lot of tax money. And during the 14 years of his reign, he visited Jiangdu 3 times. And the length of all the boats, they add up to about 200 li. So that's really long. Like, I don't know how much miles, at least dozens of miles at least, right? and apparently they had so much perfume that like 10 li away people could still smell it. Like 20,000 200,000 people following him each time. And just people towing the boats were 8 to 90,000. So 200 people following, 90,000 pulling the boats, and he was finally killed. Good riddance. Like, wow, what a wasteful guy. But yeah, okay, so that's the context. 隋帝, 隋炀帝, I believe. So his palace of purple spring has been taken by mist and cloud. So palace of purple spring is a so this is in the capital, Chang'an's so this is main palace, right? So his palace of purple spring has been taken by mist and cloud, as he would have taken all Yangzhou to be his private domain. So remember, Yangzhou is where he well, actually I don't know what Yangzhou didn't really figure in here, but you get the vibe. He's just bad emperor, so all this is just like ripping on him. Okay. I'm very bad with geography, so it probably is related to one of the places mentioned, but yeah. Then next, but for the seal of imperial jade being seized by the first Tang emperor, he would have bounded with a silken sails the limits of the world. So the Tang emperor overthrew this guy and established the Tang dynasty. Okay. That makes sense. That makes sense. So then if that didn't happen, then this guy would have just built canals all over the world and he would have like sailed there. Yeah. And the next, fireflies are gone now, have left the weathered grasses. What's that have to do with this? So this is to say, so apparently this guy, this emperor also like, he just ordered his men to gather a lot of fireflies, and they had like several huge like barrels of it, so that they could release it all at night and see the light spread over the valleys. Well, this guy does know how to enjoy himself, gotta say. Very imaginative, right? But yeah, because of that, so this is just a reference to that and say like he's so wasteful that it's almost like there won't be any more fireflies left. And then, but still among the weeping willows, crows perch at twilight. So I think the willows he ordered willows to be planted along the canal he built. Okay. Then if he meets there underground, the later Chen emperor. So this is also another famously bad ruler. I think Jacqueline, if you remember Jacqueline, she was here the first few weeks. Jacqueline also mentioned this guy, the Chen Houzhu. So he's just, I don't know, he just cares about girls and not running the country. So yeah. So if he meets there underground, the later Chen emperor, so if they meet in hell, what are they gonna talk about? And so last line, do you think that they will mention a song of courtyard flowers? So 后庭花, I think this is written by Chen Houzhu. This is a poem, right? I think apparently he's a good poet, this Chen Houzhu guy. Just a terrible emperor. Yeah. But let me just double check that's right. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right. So he's just describing this really, yeah, just some really bad and wasteful rulers. I wonder if this is like a critique against like his own, his own emperor. But yeah, I wonder why he talked about this. Kind of interesting though, just to learn about this Sui Yang Di. Okay. You're saying courtyard flowers, women. Is this last one? Right. Yeah. Interesting. And you said the Great Gatsby of ancient China. Is asking, yeah, what you said the poem asking what the corrupt emperors would talk about since they're so incompetent. The other is judging him is a critique. Maybe they would be friends. Yeah. I do wonder. So I guess at least now that we know the context, we know that both of them are like bad, right? And so they're like, well, will they? So this is this written by Chen Houzhu, right? Who's this other bad emperor? Is apparently like it shows how decadent he is as well. How yeah, just how it's not a good reflection of himself, or it reflects him. I mean, he's a bad person, so it accurately reflects how wasteful he is, I guess. So I don't know. I do feel like this ending is kind of funny. It's like if you say someone really sucks, and then you're like, I wonder if he'll be friends with Hitler in hell. That's kind of the vibe he's trying to give. Yeah, but So I think it's very witty. Not really sure. Yeah, I guess there doesn't have to be a deeper point to the poem. He could just be describing this thing. Oh no, I think it's actually because he came across the palace, right? Maybe that's why. Huh. That's possible. If he came across the palace, and that inspired him to write this. Because usually they always talk about what their inspiration is in the poem itself. So it makes sense that he would start with this. Okay. Then maybe I'll just go through some famous critics first. Oh, this guy's very critical. That's very interesting. He says he is just making allusions in every line. So where's their personal style? And this is very plain common language and not using the older rhythms or of the ancient authors. So he just thinks this sucks. I don't know. I thought this was pretty entertaining. Maybe just because the Sui Emperor has like a really crazy life. Nice to see a critical comment though. Usually they're just like fanboying, right? Interesting. Okay, I guess we can move on to the last two poems. So these two also come as a set, but they're supposed to be in a set of 4, but we only have 2 here. Let's see. I think because the other 2 are right, because there are only 2 of these are in this genre. The rest are in different genres or different forms, different meters, right? So we'll only be looking at these 2 then. So first, Li Shangyin. Again, this should be untitled, right? He has so many untitled poems. It's so hard to figure out which one. Yeah, which one. That was very hard for me to find the Wikipedia page. Okay, so untitled 1, right? 无题之一。来世空言去绝踪，月斜楼上五更钟。梦为远别啼难唤，书被催成墨未浓。蜡照半笼金翡翠，麝熏微度绣芙蓉。刘郎已恨蓬山远，更隔蓬山1万里。You said you would come, but you did not, and you left me with no other trace than the moonlight on your tower at the 5th watch bell. I cry for you forever gone, I cannot waken yet. I try to read your hurried note, I find the ink too pale. Blue burns your candle in its kingfisher feather lantern, and the sweet breath steals from your hibiscus broidered curtain. But far beyond my reach is the enchanted mountain, and you are on the other side, 10,000 peaks away. This would be a good poem to send someone who ghosted you. Like a Tinder date that ghosts you. That's my initial impression. You said you would come, but you did not, and you left me with no other trace. Then the moonlight on your tower at the 5th watch bell. Okay, what's the context of this? Right? Well, obviously the context is he got ghosted, but okay, so they don't have enough information about this, so I'm just gonna say he got ghosted, right? Yeah, which is literally what he's saying. Then I guess they're supposed to meet on the tower, is it? At the 5th watch bell. So this is the, just like, I guess like 5 o'clock, or I think this is closer to the dawn, right? Because if you remember yesterday, they said they split the evening into like 5 watches. The 5th one is the latest and closest to the dawn. Okay, so I cry for you forever gone, I cannot waken yet. I try to read your hurried note, I find the ink too pale. I wonder where the note comes from. I guess, was it the note asking to meet? Then the ink too pale is because she wasn't intending to show up, maybe. Blue burns your candle in its kingfisher feather lantern, and a sweet breath steals from your hibiscus broidered curtain. But far beyond my reach is the enchanted mountain, and you are on the other side, 10,000 peaks away. Huh. What's the enchanted mountain? Oh, okay, the enchanted mountain is just, it's not a real mountain, it's like in the immortal realm, like the deities, that's the mountain there, right? Okay. And then there's one more reference here, apparently, this Liu Lang, which wasn't very apparent in English. Okay. Because this is the story is at this enchanted mountain, is this Liu Lang, so the boy Liu or Mr. Liu. So apparently the story is that there's 2 guys, Liu Chen and I think it's Ran Zhao. They went into the mountain to collect some herbs, met 2 girls, they're invited to their house, and then they stayed there for half a year before going home. Wow. So that's the story. And so this is just like, so the last line actually it would read, Mr. Liu, so it's one of the 2 guys, right? Mr. Liu hates how far the enchanted mountain is. So the girls, I guess they're supposed to be like just immortal, like deities, right? Yeah. And then, so you are on the other side, 10,000 peaks away. So you are like this, I don't know, like divine being Like he's trying to praise her even if he's like annoyed that she ghosted him, or I guess. Yeah. It's pretty nice. It's so sad. It says sounds just like an old letter. So you like this one, it's sad and sounds just like an old letter. Yeah. I think this guy is good though. Like it's like he's kind of scolding her for ghosting him, but also like praising her. It's very difficult balance, I'd say. Just yeah. But man, I hate being ghosted though. Seriously, it's the worst. I'm fine if you go stop chatting with me, but like don't make an appointment and not show up. Like that's not cool. Yeah. Okay, this next one, part 2, right? Actually, let's see. Are the famous critics, is they separated by poem or just in general? Okay, if it's by poem, let's go through the famous critics for the first one first. Yeah, so first one, it says, this is a political interpretation. I'm not interested in that. Yeah, I mean, basically the political interpretation is always like, I think it's like the guy is the emperor and the girl is the minister. So here it seems like it's kind of the opposite, right? Because here it should be, if the girl ghosted him, it should be the minister not showing up. So I don't think this is quite right either. Yeah. So then next, okay, actually nothing very useful here. So I guess we can move on. But here you still have the comments. It's like a typical love song from the 2000s. This would be a pretty good song. Your Kingfisher Feather Lantern. That would be a good song title, Blue Burns Your Candle. That's a good song title. Blue Burns Your Candle. And the band should be called Kingfisher Feather Lantern. I'll listen to that. Oh, Danica says 2000 BC. Ooh, that's really good. That's really good. Wow. You guys are so funny. That was great. So glad you guys are here. Yeah. Yeah. Well, at the start of today, I was like just myself. Kind of a bummer. So really nice. Really glad to have you here. Yeah. Okay. So maybe I'll move on to the next part first. The next poem. So Untitled 2, 无题之二。飒飒东风细雨来，芙蓉塘外有轻雷。金蝉啮锁烧香入，日虎牵丝及锦回。甲是挥帘寒苑少，宓妃留枕为王才。春心莫共花争发，一寸相想思一寸灰。Okay, a misty rain comes blowing with a wind from the east, and wheels faintly thunder beyond hibiscus pool. Round the golden toad lock, incense is creeping. The jade tiger tells on its cord of water being drawn. A great lady once, from behind the screen, favored a poor youth. A fairy queen brought a bridal mat once for the ease of a prince and then vanished. Must human hearts blossom in spring like all other flowers? And of even this bright flame of love, shall there be only ashes? Wow. Huh. Okay, I mean, clearly it's a love poem. There's a lot of references here. I'll drink some water first, but let's go through this. It's from notes 6 to 11, right? Okay. So this Tang is a hibiscus pool. Is just a pool. Okay, that's not super helpful. And the gold, there should be a gold toad, right? The golden toad lock. So here apparently it is a decoration on top of locks, but it also could be a incense burner in the shape of a toad. And this one, this nie, this could be a like the nose hook for the incense burner, and you can like open it to put in the incense. Okay, so that makes sense, right? Around the golden toad lock, incense is creeping. And then the jade tiger. It's just another decoration, I think, on jade. Shaped like a tiger. Okay. Why is it water? Why is water being drawn? I'm not very clear about that. And then a great lady once from behind the screen favored a poor youth. So this is a oh, this is pretty cool. So the story is what? The great lady is the second daughter of this famous dude, Jia Chong. And then behind the curtain, she saw this guy, Han Shou. And then she kind of fell in love with him, like love at first sight, right? And they had a so just they communicated secretly, and then in the end they got married. So that's really nice. Oh, that's really nice. So the great lady favored the poor youth, and then they got married, right? And next, a fairy queen. I didn't get this one. Okay, so apparently she is some immortal, some lady of the river, right? And then got a bridal mat once for the prince. So apparently the prince is a oh no, but he's referring here to this actual wife of this prince in the Three Kingdoms period. This woman called what's this? Xiao, is it? Yeah. So I'm not sure why she's a fairy queen though. Hmm. I don't quite get it. Is it just a pun on her name or? Hmm. Okay, let's read. So this is what's being referenced. So apparently that water, the Lady of the River, she was the daughter of a famous emperor, and then she drowned in the Luo River and became the deity there. Apparently this prince wanted to marry this lady, and then but the dad didn't allow it. And so she was actually sentenced to death. And then the prince Oh, no. But the dad, right, actually married her to another person and one of his brothers. I see. And then when she passed away, her husband then gave it to the first brother who loved her, and then he left. That brother left the capital to go visit the river. It's Luo River, right? And he had a dream of this girl, and she said, I was originally in love with you, is it? But we couldn't work out. But this pillow is from when I was born, from my maiden home, just before I was married, right? My house before I was married. And it used to be with your brother, but now I gave it to you. And then after that, she said that she disappeared. And yeah, and then he received like some pearls, I guess. And this person was overcome with grief, but also like simultaneously grief and joy. Well, that sucked. That's really right. So she brought the bridal mat once for the ease of a prince and then vanished. So that's the story. Well, that's so sad though. And must human hearts blossom in spring like all other flowers? And of even this bright flame of love shall there be only ashes. Wow. Wow, that's wow. I mean, I don't quite understand the details of the story, but it just seems like it's really sad that they were both in love, but they couldn't, like circumstances kept them apart though. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see if you have any thoughts. Say this sounds intense. They were together in the end, but oh no, they didn't. So it's sad. So it's tragedy again. Yeah, but I think the first one they got together. The second one they didn't. Let me double check. I think the first one they got together. It's a bit. Yeah. Okay. I think they got together. So this first one was good. Second one not so good. Yeah. I guess maybe then that's why he's asking a question, because it's like ambiguous whether it'll work out or not. So maybe this here is a question of, it's like, which will we be? Will we be the happy couple or will we be the tragic one? Wow. Yeah. Interesting. I'm just not very sure how. So the second half seems to make sense to me then, but what's the deal with the first half? Okay, second half here, right? But what's the deal with this first half? So misty rain comes blowing with a wind from the east, and wheels faintly thunder beyond Hibiscus Pond. Round the golden-toed lock, incense is creeping. The jade tiger tells on its cord of water being drawn. I guess this feels kind of like, it feels kind of like build up of tension, right? It's like rain is coming and then you can kind of hear like things going on in the distance, and just, I don't know, if I look at it as a movie, it's like you have a shot of the rain, like a wide shot of the rain, and then you suddenly cut, and then, or you hear like wheels in the background, right? And suddenly you have a close-up shot of like this toad, this incense burner, and I guess this jade tiger on some well. But meanwhile, it's like all raining and stuff. I guess it does set up the atmosphere. And it feels like something is going to happen. But like, even though nothing's really happening, I can't tell if I'm overreading this, but that's the only way I can really connect this to the second part. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe let's look at the famous critics for this. Yeah. And maybe the incense reminds him of her. That's also possible. So this is just to say nothing's really happening. This guy says the point is that nothing really happens in the first part. Which is to build up the tension, I guess. Yeah. Or maybe because nothing's really happened, then his mind drifts and then he thinks of matters of love. Yeah. I don't know. Again, not very useful here. But I guess if kind of both, kind of just to one more comment at the end is just these two stories, right? In one, they are literally separated by a screen, which she emphasizes here, right? But in the end, they manage to get together. Whereas here, this other story, they're separated sort of by circumstance and it doesn't really work out. So I guess there is this, it's both about separation. They're both about separation, but also, I guess even in the second story, there is some sort of resolution where at least he knows she loves him and that she gives him like something to remember her by. Yeah. I don't know. I guess, yeah, again, it's very appropriate that it ends with a question because he doesn't know the answer, I think. So he really asks, must human hearts blossom in spring like all other flowers? And of even this bright flame of love, shall there be only ashes? Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I don't really get the poem, but also it's still quite moving. Yeah. So this line, the last line literally is like 1 inch of mutual longing, 1 inch of ash. So it's wow. Oh, that's really wow. That's a good line. Yeah, I guess that's kind of it for today. Oh, that's a good point. You just said incense is creeping. The word creeping is special in meaning, but it could have been written incense is burning, but creeping has more emotions to it. I think that's a good point, right? And also, if it's incense, is that why they're talking about the ashes here? Because it's burning, right? So like the part that burns is like ash. Wow, that's really interesting. Okay, that connects the incense to this ashes then. So he's looking at the incense, he's thinking like, will my love just be like this? That's really cool. That's really cool. Wow. Okay, wow, that's great. Thanks so much for that. I think that really cleared up this incense thing for me. Just connection here. Interesting. You said yes, and then you say yes, maybe death is approaching or happened. Death approaching or happened. Right, because of the second story, right? I guess, like you said in the previous one, oh no, it was Renzhen, right? In the elegy poem, it says like, I mean, if there's a couple, one of them must die first. So, yeah, but I guess, so is it, so I guess it is inevitable that love will always end in ashes. Yeah. But it has to end, right? We all die, but so I guess this is kind of a rhetorical question now. I guess it does seem like it would be yes. But what's important is what, like the point of the incense is not that it becomes ash, right? The point of the incense is that at least there is the scent as it is burning. So, you know, maybe it's almost optimistic, but we can read this optimistic in that, yeah, it's all gonna be ash, but you know, that's not the point. Like you shouldn't focus on the ending because that's certain, but you should focus on, you know, the good parts that are there, like just the process. Okay, I don't think that's part of the poem, but that's like me reading into it. But yeah, just wow, very interesting image of the incense and love as, I mean, love as burning, I guess is pretty common, but love as a burning incense, that's kind of new. Yeah. And he says it's about a guy sad because they will die eventually, that fears he will not die at the same time. Okay, maybe for the second one. But I feel like the second one is more about unfulfilled. Like they could never really get together though. Yeah. So, Then there's still the first part, which is like, what's the deal with all this stuff? But I do think, okay, first two lines just to set the scene. Yeah. Okay, let me I'll look through the famous critics one more time. Is there any help to understand this? Yeah, I guess that's nothing super useful. So, okay lah. I guess maybe we'll just call it a day then. Yeah. So tomorrow will be the very last one. So exciting. The last 10 poems from 214 to 223. And let's see what this will be. 214 was by him again still, but okay, hopefully no more. Oh God, is there another entitled one? Oh, he needs to start like giving names to his poems, man. Seriously. Oh man, okay. But yeah, it will be fun. It'll be exciting to really just finish the whole set. And yeah, so I guess the grand finale. So I do hope to see you guys tomorrow. And yeah, thanks so much for being here. And yeah, for the really, really useful comments today. It's really nice. And yeah, hope to see you tomorrow for the very last one. All right. Bye-bye.